is you underestimate yourselves and you always think it'll be easier in the future. You can do almost anything you put your mind to, and it's never going to be easier in the future. Do it now. So we're EnPowered, an energy technology company. Everyone knows that electricity prices are cheap at night and expensive during the day. That's your time of use prices we pay here in Ontario. But it's actually not that simple. The actual cost of power changes every 5 minutes in most markets, and it's almost always extremely cheap, but then extremely expensive for short spikes. And so we use artificial intelligence algorithms to forecast those price spikes before they happen, and then we give that data to our customers. That'd be like mines, factories, batteries, generators. And by shifting their usage to avoid these really expensive hours, they can save an enormous amount of money. There's two main pieces. So one, what causes those energy spikes isn't necessarily that clear cut. Your energy bills are incredibly complicated. There's all these different charges and fees in there, and when you add them all together, you can start to see where these price spikes are, but that's easier said than done. So not everyone actually knows that there's all these different things you can do. So I'd say that's the first part, is helping a business understand, hey, this is what your actual cost of power looks like. It's not what you think it is. Here's what it actually lays down minute to minute. So that's already the first piece of value. And the second piece is there is public data out there which broadly tells you when it's expensive, when it's cheap. But if everyone knows that tomorrow at 7 p.m. is going to be expensive, and everyone turns off their power tomorrow at 7 p.m., it's not expensive anymore because everyone just shut down. And so there's some game theory there of you need to understand when will it be expensive, but more importantly, what's everyone else in the market going to do, so that you know which hours are actually the expensive ones. Because a big issue you get in this game that we're playing is if you're shutting down for every potential spike, you're going to be shutting down your factory 100 times a year, and at that point the savings you're getting isn't worth it. You have to be at least 50% accurate, so that every time you shut down at least 1 or 2 times you're saving money for this to be worth it. And so we've historically been really good at predicting what we call false peaks, which is everyone thinks it's a spike, but it's not. Don't worry about it. Keep doing your thing. So we've been able to get all of these really big price spikes without having to constantly fall for these false spikes. I got introduced to a large lumber mill in Northern Ontario. This was a company using over $100,000 of power a month. And while working with them, they were large enough that I could start throwing some crazy ideas at them. It's like, hey, you could actually turn off your entire plant here and save a ton of money. And initially, they're obviously thinking there's no way we can do this. We're a 24/7 shop. We can't just turn off our power. But you start showing them the math and how much money they could save, and it became a little bit more interesting, and they started getting creative. And that was essentially the start of this company.